We are in beautiful Daytona Beach, Florida for the first ever weekend of Major League Table Tennis. Our Saturday slate begins with the Chicago Wind and the Princeton Revolution. These two squads both looking for their first win as we welcome you inside the Ocean Center, about a couple hundred yards from the Atlantic Ocean here in Daytona Beach. As you see the East Division standings after one night of competition, Carolina and Florida both victorious. We'll see the Gold Rush and the Crocs battle on the table later tonight, but right now it's the Revolution and the Wind. One of these teams will get their first ever MLTT victory here this afternoon. It's so great to welcome you back inside the Ocean Center for day number 2 of Major League Table Tennis alongside the former USA Olympian Sean O'Neill. I'm Evan Lepler. Sean, day 1 in the books. It was exciting. It was mysterious. We got day 2. What do you expect?
Well, a lot of the intensity that we saw last night, the players need to win, especially in this first match where they both came out a little flat yesterday.
And today, an opportunity for individuals and teams alike. Both these teams have individuals that had plenty of great moments, but it's a team game now, and these teams are looking to taste victory for the first time.
Yeah, both teams have amazing players. Here you have the U.S. Open winner in the past, Jinxin Wang. Excellent player, a lot of experience, also does a bit of coaching on the side.
This was yesterday. Jinxin Wang took 2 out of 3 games in his match against Mark Duran in the first singles position.
And this was at 10-10, a must-win point. Jinxin came up big both in games 1 and 2, finding the way to keep the ball in play. Durant very powerful, but look at that by Jinxin Wang. Very strong play.
Jinxin Wang, all 3 of the games he played, remember, were 11-10, 2 one-point wins and also one one-point loss. We will see Damian Provost of the Chicago Wind in our second singles match, but Jinxin Wang's opponent will be Sasha Khanin.
And all these players we actually had yesterday, Damian played against one of the female players, which is unique to the league where you have mixed singles quite often. Damian able to get the 3-0 win.
So we'll see Provost against Yevgen Prishepa, who makes his Princeton Revolution debut in a bit, but now Khanin versus Wang. Khanin to serve. And these are quick games to 11, not win by 2, so it gets to the finish line fast.
You know, Khanin's going to have a lot more power than Jinxin Wang. Both forehand and backhand sides, he will go for big shots. Wang much more placing the ball, keeping it in play, looking for position. There's a lucky net ball there for Khanin.
Yesterday, Khanin went 1 and 2.
1-3
against Roman Lorenz. Sasha lost the first 2 games and then won his 3rd game 11-6 to salvage 1 point for his team. Both these players in the leadoff position for the 2nd day in a row. What has stood out stylistically from the first 6 points?
Really that Wang, he's just going to be placing the ball. He's not going to go for excessive power like his opponent. He's keeping it on the table, moving it around.
3-4.
Sasha Khanin, very strong, finishing the point, likes to play big on the forehand side.
Easily the longest rally we've seen so far.
You could see on that last point, Wang just taking his time, waiting for the ball to come wide forehand after moving his opponent to the backhand side, just hooking it. Excellent placement.
4-all.
And there's the forehand of Khanin.
5-4.
Wang got a good opening. He was able to play that first backhand topspin, but couldn't cover the entire table. Great footwork by Khanin, really picking that ball up when it's so low. When Wang goes for the attack, he often will leave a court open for the counterattack.
4-7.
Battle of backhands there, won by Khanin, who has seized control. One more serve coming up for Jinxin Wang. Takes a little bit of a walk to her group, make sure the footing is clear.
Big point there, a mistake by Wang. He had a high ball on the forehand side, tried to go for a flip kill and get the direct point, but it goes wide.
Is that footwork related?
Overplaying just a little bit, trying to hit it a little harder than necessary and getting there a tad late. But Wang's blocking game is really his strength. He likes to keep the ball in play and move it around and then come in with a forehand of his own. Khanin much more balanced with his attacks from both forehand and backhand sides.
What a performance from Sasha Khanin, just locked in this opening game. Chicago Wind fans enjoying it.
6-9.
Glimmer of hope here for Jinxin Wang. Got one more serve.
6-9.
Great serve there.
9-7.
Right into the elbow, that we call it a transition point. Wang able to put a lot of sides when the ball just breaks at the last second into the backhand, unable for Khanin to get that tip under the ball. And there's the power of Khanin on the forehand. Wang's got to do a better job on the serve return.
Those last 2 points are fascinating, with just a quick point with the serve on all the spin and then the power to respond. Game point.
10-7. 11-7. Game 1.
So an 11-7 win for Sasha Khanin as Chicago gets started with a W here in game number 1 of the first singles match tonight.
So game number 1.
It's got to feel good after last night's performance to change things around. Khanin playing much stronger today than we saw yesterday, getting his attack both on forehand and backhand side going. He's going to need to keep that up. He's got 3 full games regardless of how game 2 turns out.
Let's go back to that 2-point sequence where Wang had the flummoxing serve and then Khanin responded with the power.
Yeah, Wang did a nice job moving it into the center of the table, and both players want to try to open up, making that first attack if possible. But seeing this last replay here, 10-7.
If anyone gets really committed, you see something crazy, you can start doing the crawl, all right? But in the meantime, let's have some fun. When you see a good point, let me hear you, all right? Let's make some noise.
The side top on that last serve. Wang trying to keep it low.
5.
Just pops off the end with a lot of spin.
Mr. Wang, time.
So Jinxin Wang, every single point he played felt like a high leverage situation
Game
yesterday,
2.
as you see Eric
Revolution to
Owens,
serve.
coach of the
0-0.
Chicago Wind. He was very confident going into yesterday, and then his team got beaten pretty soundly. Welcome to the big stage.
I spoke with him in between matches, and I could feel what he was remembering as a player himself, a former U.S. champion, what it's like having a tough day at the office. So he said he felt good about today's lineup. He's going to make a couple moves.
Next.
Certainly don't want to overreact
1,
after one
2.
day. Carolina played well. Kai Zhang, Enzo Angles were phenomenal.
Oh, they just played out of this world, especially Kai Zhang. I think he surprised himself as well.
2-2.
2-all here in game 2.
You could hear on that last serve of Wang, he stomped to help disguise the amount of spin by putting his foot on the ground in order to make sure the opponent couldn't hear the sound. Misread the serve, got a pop up and just put it away.
Really the biggest change from a lineup standpoint for Coach Owens from yesterday to today is the movement of doubles, with Dan Liu taking the spot of Sasha Khanin in the doubles match alongside Emily Tan.
And that's going to be a very important doubles match with
No
the
blocking.
two choppers from the Revolution against Dan Liu and Emily Tan. It should be an excellent match, contrasting styles.
4-3.
No separation for 8 points here in game number 2. Khanin from Minsk, Belarus. 25 years old. Jinxin Wang, who moved to the U.S. from China 9 years ago. Is in Santa Clara.
And that's a great counterattack there by Khanin.
5-5.
Getting Jinxin before the match tonight. We're going to be just around the corner from his hometown next week out in Santa Cruz for the first West Division weekend.
Next.
He may attend as a spectator.
I'm sure he will, just to do some scouting, because we will have a match with both teams. Both conferences are competing against each other, so to see the potential opposition from the West Coast. That's just perfect table tennis there by Khanin. Super opening, controlled shot, and then putting the ball away.
Mr. Wang. Mr. Wang, your tap.
Not much Wang could do. Very competitive second game. 6-all.
Ball
7.
touched the net, changes the bounce a little bit. Oh, what a great service attack there by Khanin. Serve went a little long, but Khanin just jumped on it. No hesitation to get his forehand going.
Now a couple serves for Sasha. He's got 3 points in a row after we were tied 6-all. In fact, he scored 4 straight since he trailed 6-5.
Coach Owens is going to have to like that forehand that Khanin is delivering this morning.
Oh, another impressive winner
10.
down the line. Owens fired up.
Got the whole team standing there with that last one.
And he fooled Wang with that.
Yep.
Expecting the forehand side. Wang still alive.
10.
Snaps the consecutive point string at 5 in a row. And now it's 2 in a row for Wang to make it 10-8.
10-8.
Sasha goes for a walk to the towel. On his racket here.
Definitely has a chance to build this 2-0 lead.
Oh, Jinxin Wang says not yet.
What great hands by Wang, taking the ball off the bounce. And of course, a timeout has been called by Chicago. They do not want to let this get to the final point at 10-10. They want to get a 2-0 lead.
Early timeout, Sean. You only have 2 timeouts for the first 15 games of table tennis. And here in game number 2, Khanin tries to stop this Wang boomerang momentum.
And it's telling you how valuable each game is. They do not want to risk losing a game or to have to go into that 10-10 final point after being up.
After everything, so lots to look forward to. If you need them, I know everyone's well fed right now.
Not a ton of emotion or celebration from Wang after that winner.
Yeah, he's a calm, cool, and collective player.
And why there are warnings. The simple thing is, the player must be able to see the ball at all times when the opponent is serving. Enjoy.
Time.
Still game point for Khanin. He's got 1 serve here. If he can't win it, then Wang will have the serve at 10-all. And that'll do it for game number 2. Khanin closes it out, 11-9.
Really smart timeout there by Eric Owens as the captain of the Chicago Wind. Gave Khanin a chance to figure out what serve and combo he would go. Nice play, good backhand off the bounce. Wang unable to bring it down.
Why do they touch the table? Why do they wipe their hands near the net? Good question. Glad you asked. What's your name? Are you impressed that I could read that question from that far away without even talking to you? What's your name?
So it's 2 straight wins for Khanin.
That's your sister? Wait a minute. This is...
He will try to go for the 3-0 sweep against Wang, who got 2 points for his Revolution team yesterday in the opening singles match against Florida's Mark Duran.
It is so critical right now. It's a 2-point swing. If Khanin is able to sweep and take all 3, or if Wang can battle back and just make it a 2-1 deficit going into the second match.
You have a table in your home. Now here's a question. If I can read
Owens talking with Khanin and Princeton coach Matthias Havison conversing with Jinxin Wang.
later. Let's make some noise. Game 3 to start.
Game 3. Wins to serve. 0-0.
I need to serve.
Not a surprise that Wang is forcing the offense right out of the gate here in game 3. He's got to try something different. He can't just play placement.
1-1.
Peace.
Great hands by both players, able to withstand the opponent's strong opening attack. See here, nice backhand, a reloop there, long down the line, but unable to sustain the offense.
2-all.
Much faster pace here in game 3. Both players really going after it.
Yeah, it feels like the very start of game 1. And what a finish from Khanin.
I mean, that down the line backhand, the angle is so tight to take it straight.
Taking some of the velocity that he's given and returning it the other way.
Again, heavy topspin off the table by Khanin.
Getting that short serve from Sashi.
Yeah, it's excellent. He's serving short so he can get that first attack in there short. Here comes another drop, and then boom with the big backhand. Oh, that was even more impressive. Over the table by Khanin. That ball popped up just a little bit from Wang. But Sasha jumped on top of it and just drove that ball to get that 5-2 where we'll change ends. Here in game 3, both players have an equal chance of having the same lighting, same conditions.
Sasha is feeling it right now, folks. It's an absolute forehand rip.
And Jinxin Wang made a good backhand attack to get the ball going, but Khanin just took it down with a forehand. Got away from Khanin on that last backhand. Tried to go off the bounce. Mistimed it a little bit.
Solid exchange. Khanin wins the battle.
Khanin's getting very comfortable backing up around 3 to 5 feet in order to counterattack Jinxin Wang's opening shots. Now he's extending that lead.
8.
Wang.
8.
At least one more highlight for Jinxin. But a steep hill still to climb.
Khanin so strong, and he serves it a little bit deep, forcing Wang to play offense against it, and then he re-attacks it off the bounce.
We did not see a sweep in either of the opening singles matches yesterday, either team match. This would be the first in MLTT history.
5-10.
Game points here for Khanin.
10-6.
To serve back.
And Chicago won't be calling any more timeouts.
Wouldn't think so. By rule, they can't.
Right.
And that'll do it.
11-6.
Khanin
Game and match.
completes the sweep. Get the broom out here in the first singles match. As the Chicago win. Take a 3-0 lead to begin this Saturday night expedition.
Right now is a 3-0 lead. Chicago win out front. Beth and Jen.
Again, Khanin just excellent job of getting his offense going, dealing with a very tactical Jinxin Wang US Open winner, just unable to handle Khanin's strong attacks.
Revolution.
Sasha joins us from the table side. Congratulations, Sasha. How did today feel compared to yesterday for you?
I feel really much better today. I adapted a little bit more to the hole. I feel like I'm really much faster today, so I can play a little bit more aggressive, and I feel like really much better than yesterday.
Sasha, when you were playing against Wang, what was your main focus? Was it just to let him open up and then counterattack? You had a number of amazing forehand loops off the bounce.
I think I really didn't have some tactic against him because I didn't play against him before. So I just to try concentrate on my tactic, on my playing style, what I can do, what I play better, what I play worse. So I think it works because 3-0 finally. Yeah.
I know you were very excited yesterday to take the table, and it didn't work out for you and your teammates. What was the message from Coach Owens heading into today to try to get back on track?
I think the head message was like, just fight, just to try play your best and enjoy the game. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, for sure.
A 3-0 win. Imagine you would. Thanks for the time, Sasha.
Thank you.
Sasha Khanin put Chicago in front 3-0 in the first 4 matches yesterday. 3 singles and a doubles match to start the day. Chicago only had 2 total points, so the win off to a phenomenal start. And now we get the second singles match featuring Chicago star from yesterday. Damian Provost swept Hong Lin 3-0 in the 4th singles game yesterday. He's in the 2 spot today, going against Yevgen Prishepa, the Ukrainian, making his MLTT debut. Just traveled to Daytona Beach from Malmo, Sweden, where he was competing at the European Championships, and the 38-year-old is ready to go. Prishepa against Provost.
3 games to
Very
play.
interesting after getting off the
Game
plane
1.
from a long
Revolution
trip to see if he can keep the momentum of playing
0-0.
against the best European players and then getting against Damian Provost, who's definitely a strong French player as well.
1.
Prishepa, certainly his body clock is all out of sorts. He was in Sweden, which is 8 hours ahead from where we are now. Basically about 1:30 a.m. for Prishepa. I said, were you able to sleep on the plane? He said, no, I'm too tall. 1-1. That's a forehand from Damian Provost to put it away.
Damian really plays all over the table well. Very nice backhand topspins off the table, forehand topspins, but also a very tricky service game. If you don't keep his serves low and short, he will come in and finish the point.
3-1 lead now for Provost. Got a little help assist from the net.
It's a very spinny serve by Prishepa.
Got the return he wanted, had an opportunity to take both points on his serve, but the error into the net gives Provost the 4-2 advantage.
Ball clipped the net
3.
by Przeszepa. You'll always see the players raise their hand to let the opponent know that they did acknowledge it was a slightly lucky shot.
If someone didn't raise their hand apologetically, would tension rise?
A little bit. And you might not do it on your end when you get an edge ball or a net ball. Generally, the players have great
5
sportsmanship.
court.
And there's a great backhand control block there by Provost.
Five all.
5
Przeszepa
6.
fired up after taking the 6-5 lead. Yevgen from Kyiv moved to France, where he lives now because of the war. Good battle there. Provost wins it. And tied 6-all as they go to the towel. You can imagine what the last couple of years have been like for Yevgen Przeszepa. Started playing table tennis because there was a table tennis school a 1-minute walk from his home in Kyiv.
And a lot of the Ukrainian players have gone to Europe and stayed there, working with the top clubs there. And that's a great forehand there by Przeszepa, taking it right off the bounce. Provost in the backcourt, but Przeszepa able to step around his backhand, this final ball, and get a forehand into play.
Swing and a miss from Provost, fooled by that nifty spin from Yevgen. It's an 8-6 lead. Important couple of serves here for Damian. 9-6 now for the Ukrainian.
Provost looks a little unsure of himself right now.
The Provost led 3-1.
6.
But since then, a 9-3 rampage for Yevgen Przeszepa to set up game point. How about the emergence of this newcomer to Major League Table Tennis, Yevgen Przeszepa? Welcome to Daytona Beach.
And he really got his offense going, really controlled the short game, able to get his forehand number of really spinny serves that Provost had issues with, just dumping it into the net. Not too difficult to go over the net, but he doesn't want to let Przeszepa get his first forehand.
It's the first time Damian Provost tastes individual defeat. He was 3-0 against Hong Lin in the 4th singles spot yesterday. And Przeszepa, after losing 3 of his first 4 points, closes 10-3.
It looked like Provost was doing a little bit more of not wanting to lose, just kind of kept it on the table, where Przeszepa took his opportunities, missed a couple of attacks, but he just kept the pressure going. And then again on the short serves, did a much better job of spinning that ball in.
Damian, you ask him to describe his playing style, and he uses the word safe. And you ask Przeszepa his playing style, fast topspin. That's exactly what we saw.
Exactly. There was to the tee. Provost looked good, moving it around. And of course, the very first game on center court here in Daytona Beach is not an easy feat to deal with. And clearly, Przeszepa found his range in the midpoint of game 1.
Provost to serve to begin game 2. Reminder about the format, Sean. There are 4 singles matches, 1 doubles matches, each 3 games to 11. Every single game counts for 1 point in the team standings.
Well, that was a nice play there by Provost.
1.
Both players attacking off the bounce, and Provost able to get his forehand in. Provost does need to play a little bit more offensive. Oh, that was a nice forehand right across the body. Like Coach Owens mentioned, put some more pressure.
Let open palm. Visible to the
So
other
the
player.
umpires are reminding all the players, we saw it yesterday, to when you're tossing the ball, toss it out of the center of your hand, not your fingers. This Sometimes that will cause the players to have to change their timing on the serve, and it can be a little bit of a hindrance if they think too much about it.
Is there an ideal for teaching a young player an ideal height to toss the ball, or is it different for everybody?
Well, because the rules state that it has to go at least 6 inches up, as a coach, you try to have your juniors, and that was a wonderful double bouncing serve by Provost. Teach the kids to toss it about 8, just to give them a little bit of leeway. Because if you just go for the 6 and you're nervous, you might toss it where the umpire could call a short or a low serve.
Yeah, we've seen some players toss it 20 inches in the air. That's a 1.5 2 foot toss right there.
Oh, Provost is not going to get that backhand to land. Shippa has so much topspin on his ball. Shippa very smart. After Provost gets off the table, he stays on the backhand side. Doesn't have to worry about a strong forehand counterattack.
Red icon, there is a debris on the forecourt.
A much better backhand there by Provost. He played it on the forehand side, kind of got turned around, but excellent counterattacks.
Just a miss from Provost, a little too far, and it's 5-all.
That was a very spinny serve by Shippa.
That's the key to making his serve as spinny as he does.
Stay super relaxed on the grip. When you come into the ball, you really have to snap through it, and then it has to be low, preferably short, so it bounce twice on its own if the opponent didn't touch it. Stops them from making that first attack. Again, right after the quality serve, just gets those backhands into play. Provost having a lot of difficulty with the offensive for Shippa.
5-8.
In addition to dropping those serves back short, the players will often push them deep in order to just jam them up. That was an example right there.
Similar story to game 1, Sean. Shippa seizing control in the latter half.
Provost's offense is not bothering him at all. He's taking those attacks and just returning them cross court with ease. And that's a nice loop down the line.
10-5.
So Yevgen Shippa.
Maybe the deal is you just don't worry about traveling halfway around the world to come in.
Some people are at their best when their body clock's around 1 a.m. Shippa's a night owl. At least his performance tonight would suggest as much. Back-to-back wins for Shippa, 11-6 in game 1, 11-5 in game 2. Closed with 6 straight points.
And just really having his way, controlling the serve, dealing with Provost's very good attacks, having no difficulty with the timing. Excellent play.
You know what?
His eyes were not watching the ball as it came down.
Yeah, you generally don't need to see contact because you've thrown that ball up in serve practice thousands of times, but you do want to get a read on the opponent.
Oh my goodness, so you're playing all the time. Okay, tell me a little bit about your
And again, throughout this, that backhand play by Shippa, right when Provost makes a strong attack, it's just placing it back without any difficulty, and then down the line shots that he's been pulling out. Just so solid here.
Time.
So yesterday, when we saw someone go up 2-0, you really talked about the mental resilience required. And this is just all sort of mental attitude, less about tactical adjustments.
This is the team. You are trying to stop the bleeding here because you go down 3 and you get swept, or you just make it a 1-point difference. And you will see Chicago getting behind Provost to try to find an answer to Przeppa.
Trying to maintain the team lead after Khanin had the 3-0 sweep of Wang.
2-0.
And the games are so quick and the momentum does shift that often. Even losing the first two by 5 and 6 point margins, Provost should be able to change his tactics a little bit more offense.
3-0.
This is exactly the start that Damien was looking for. Try to bounce back.
You can see the team in the background just giving Damien encouragement. Right shot just caught the top of the net. Needs to keep playing offense. Don't go into the safe mode. Excellent set of attacks and counterattacks by Provost. A nice serve there by Przeppa.
Both these players 38 years old. Damien will be 39 next month. Yevgen not till next July.
So just tons of experience from both these guys. They will not beat themselves. Either one of them is going to have to put in some real offense to get past
Net.
the opponent.
4-2.
Beautiful inside out forehand by Provost. Again, getting his entire team to stand up. They want to keep this momentum going here. 5-2 in
Switch
game
side.
3.
How has he changed the flow?
It's just being a lot more offensive minded. He's going for the shots. He's not taking his time. Of course, they're changing ends now because at 5 points in the final game,
5-2.
Provost knows he has to go offensive.
Inches closer at
And-
5-3.
And 2 big serves for Przeppa. He can even it up.
Provost with a big forehand again. Przeppa unable to handle it.
Provost very measured in his counterattacks. Not going for anything crazy, but making sure he gets his offense into the point.
7-3.
Provost gets a little bit of a break there with the ball hitting the net, coming over. Now he's got the serve at 7-3.
Let's play.
Oh, beautiful backhand there by Provost, right all over the table and off the bounce to take those 2 points on his serve.
It's a big point here. Both these teams struggled in doubles yesterday. Chicago went 1-2 and Princeton got swept 0-3.
Lucky break there by Provost.
10.
Przeppa had the ball that he wanted after defending a couple of attacks. So caught the edge of his pad a little early.
Does Yevgen still believe he can win this game?
Take a little bit of luck. Actually, a lot of luck
4.
to come back and win 6 in a row now. Just to tie it up.
Net.
Provost has really upped his game. Really strong backhand play here in game 3.
Damien Provost did indeed up his game to salvage the third game. Wins at 11-4. And it's a 4-2 lead for the Chicago Wind after the first 2 singles matches tonight.
Again, Provost with the strong forehands. Przeppa unable to play that ball in the middle. Excellent final attack by Provost. Heavy side spin, heavy top spin.
Show me the cross jump.
Ball
Let me see it.
hits the top of the net and just goes long.
Right. And the cool thing is you can even be clapping while you're doing it at the end of every jump. Okay,
So Provost gets the last laugh, but Yevgen Prishepa makes an impressive opening statement in his MLTT debut. Yevgen joins us now. Yevgen, congrats on getting 2 points for your team. How did it feel to be out on the table in Major League Table Tennis for the first time?
Also, it's always, I feel, big responsibility to have good start, to bring some points to my team. I was leading 2-0, lost one set. Maybe not so satisfied, but it's okay. Keep fighting.
So in your match, had you ever played Damian Provost before? You're both about the same age and from Europe.
I played with him only one time in Major League Combined in August. I also win 2-1. It was look like same picture was there.
Yevgen, how are you feeling coming from Sweden, flying the long way? I don't know what time your body is telling you it is right now. Did you feel good, normal on the table?
I feel good. My strong side of game is tactics. A little bit my body is not so fast as it could be when I am top fit because of flights and so on. But mentally I'm strong, and tactics I feel good. The game I see all weak points, so it's okay.
Well, don't go to sleep just yet. You got the Golden Game coming up in a little bit. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on a good start.
Thanks.
Yevgen Prishepa in his MLTT debut, setting the table for doubles. And as I said, both these teams struggled in doubles yesterday, so it's an opportunity for a new bit of team success. We're seeing Matthew de Saint-Elan and Angela Guan teaming up again for the Princeton Revolution. Going against 17-year-old Emily Tan, who yesterday partnered with Sasha Khanin, but Chicago making a change and inserting Dan Liu as Emily's partner today. What do you think about that adjustment from Eric Owens?
Interesting move by Owens. Right now, because we have these two offensive players, the far side is going to see a lot of offense, and on the near side with Wang and DeSantis, you'll see both defenders backing up. They will give up the first offensive shot and try to win their points by changing the spin and the placement. Emily's super fiery. She loves to get into every point. You'll hear her every time her team scores.
2-0 lead for Liu and Tan. By rule, every team needs to have at least one female player in the lineup.
So the tactics of the Chicago wind are Emily makes the first high spin. They let the defensive team chop it back, and then Dan Liu's going for the big forehand. Oh, and there's the offensive DeSantis. He can go both directions. Not only can he defend, but when you give him an easy ball, he will put it away.
Speaking of a big forehand. 4-2 now.
I really love the teamwork of Guan and DeSantis. They're giving high fives after every point, similar to like a volleyball team, regardless of whether they win or lose.
And a good serve there from Wang.
Just good communication between the two defensive players.
So 4-4 after it was 4-zip. Serve goes back to Chicago.
Net. Throw the ball vertical.
Another serve for the 32-year-old Dan Liu.
Oh, and that's a big forehand by Dan Liu, but DeSantis able to return it with all the spin, keeping it nice and low. Again, the teams will be giving signals right before serving to let their partner know what type of spin they'll be placing on the ball so they can focus on the return.
And Tan wants that one back. 6 consecutive points for Princeton after Guan and Desantillon fell behind 4-0.
And that loop by Emily set up Dan Liu's big forehand. Doubles, it's always teamwork. You have Emily heavy spin high, and then Dan just putting it away. Oh, and
Little
Angela,
offense from Angela
nice
Guan.
backhand pick down the line. That's the tricky thing playing against defensive players. You know that if you give them something weak just to keep it going, they're likely to come in with a pick hit or a quick smash. We've seen Desantillon land that forehand on demand.
Reminds me of a volleyball setter that lulled the defense to sleep and then goes for the rare attack.
Exactly.
And they're not seeing it coming. Oh, shot, it just missed the table. Desantillon.
And
That
even
ball
when
inches off the ground.
the Revolution lost the point, both players still giving each other support, giving them a high five.
Another bit of offense from Angela Guan.
And again,
Sense in the moment.
Desantillon put so much underspin on his ball that he forced Emily to have to push it, giving Angela a chance to come in with the backhand. That time, Angela took a little bit of spin off the ball. Dan Liu went for the big forehand, but not enough to bring it down. Again, that's the tactic of the Chicago Wing team. One high spin by Emily, and then Dan Liu with the powerful forehand.
2 serves here for Chicago. Makes it a 1-point game.
Desantillon a little bit impatient there, trying to play some offense. A little out of characteristic for his style.
This has been an unbelievable opening game, Sean. Chicago went up 4-0. Princeton scored 9 of the next 10, and now Chicago has come back to tie it up. It's 9-all, game to 2.
Both teams getting their strengths into play, with the Revolution keeping it nice and low, Chicago going for the big shots.
Footwork from Guan getting around Desantillon to that right side of the table.
And delivering such an extreme angle that Dan Liu unable to run it down.
Game point for Princeton. 10-all. And this next point will decide it. Universe point here in the first doubles game. Chicago's teenage phenom Emily Tan to serve. And it will go Princeton's way. Miss hit ever so slightly by Dan Liu.
Emily went with a very heavy side spin serve. Angela able to return the spin, giving it right back to Dan Liu, who is unable to control it and just played it right off the side, almost causing their own demise with that heavy side spin serve. We'll get a chance to watch it right here again. Here's a side spin. Angela giving it back. And that ball, you can see Dan Liu's wondering what the heck was on that. What was your partners just gave him a side spin serve that Angela gave right back to him.
That Chicago duo had a run of 4-0 and another run of 5-0 and did not win the game.
They did everything right, but the fight and the hustle and the teamwork of Princeton Revolution with Angela Guan, Desantillon. You just see both players. There's the teamwork aspect that we spoke about. Just constantly changing the spin. As defensive players, they're not going for offense, but they just want to mix it up. And look at that backhand play by Angela Guan. She came up big with 2 backhands.
Multiple winners.
Game 2, Revolution to serve.
And just again, changing the spin, making it tough. Now the order will change, so Dan Liu will be hitting to Angela this game.
Nice hit by Tan. Aleksandr and Guan went 0-3 yesterday in doubles, but they're off to a good start today, winning 11-10. Now up 1-0.
That is uncharacteristic as a defensive player. If you're fighting to step around to get a forehand loop in, just chop it back with your backhand, move it around. You don't need to be taking any risky shots.
Tan serving.
Beautiful footwork there by Angela Guan. See how fast she got around that high ball in her backhand court. Excellent movement. And all these defensive players can attack. They just choose to play defense, mixing up the spin.
Great.
Heavy underspin.
Now, Liu has not found his forehand against that underspin shot that he's been seeing over and over again.
And credit Aleksandr for really loading up the chops. When Emily makes that first loop, he's not only returning it, but he's adding more spin to it, which puts extra pressure on Dan Liu.
Oh, now he found the forehand.
He lined that one up, took his time, super timing.
That's more like it.
Nice counterattack from the backcourt by Aleksandr. The loop is dropping on him. He will return it with topspin. Otherwise, he will chop it back.
5-4.
Emily tried to lift that ball a little higher than what was needed.
And there was an opportunity there for Angela to maybe attack, and she still chopped at it.
Yeah, just try to change the spin and affected the pace of the ball, trying to jam Emily. And that was a much better loop there by Emily.
What would you say to a young player if they came to you and said, look, I've always been kind of an attacking player, I want to become a chopper?
Usually they have to be super patient because they're going to have bombs sent at them, and it's not going to be pretty often. But if you've got great footwork, really cerebral, like to change the spin, mix it up, don't like attacking, but eventually they do have to add that to their game. And the teamwork of the Revolution, outstanding.
7-5.
Princeton ahead 7-5. Make it
8-5.
8-5.
That ball again just touched the net. And we're a little frustrated there, unable to get the pushback on the table.
Net 8-5.
We saw Emily Tan yesterday with Sasha get a game off Enzo and Bastion DuPont in the Carolina matchup.
She played outstanding in her premier match. And
The forehand gave Enzo Andre some problems.
they didn't know what to expect. They weren't sure if she was going to just play safe or put it on the table. Instead, she came out just going for it, and they had a tough time reading the amount of spin. And that one, Santalan tracked down from the backcourt and just re-attacked it, forcing Dan Liu just to be happy to put his paddle on it.
Seeing the day 2 chemistry from Aleksandr and Guan.
11-5.
0-3 yesterday, but they're up 2-0 today. An 11-5 win in game number 2 after sneaking through in game number 1.
You can see that defensive partnership that the Revolution is putting out there. Just great body language, communications between every point, mixing it up and really playing as one unit.
All right, yes, we got
All out there, it's making it tough for
question for you. We've got
Chicago to get anything
we know
going.
They do the Crocs jump. How do you show Revolution? What's your guys' like very marketable action that you do?
Our tagline is join the revolution.
Join the revolution. Do you have a hand sign or anything so that people can join your revolution? How do you join the revolution? We're still working on it. We're workshopping it a bit, but I like it. You say it with heart. It makes me want to join the revolution. All right, so players coming back to the table. The revolution has already began. Remember,
Who's going to need to find more forehand consistency if Chicago's going to steal this 3rd game, you would think.
And again, the orders are changing every game. So we'll see what looked like the first half of that first game, is where Lou will have a little bit more to work with. We will be playing the ball from the center
Wing
line,
to serve.
but hopefully
0-0.
Emily can set him up with some nice heavy opening loops that are a little bit high, so he has a ball to play off of. Game players will change, teams will change in 5. So we're in the 3rd game.
Good start for Tan and Liu.
Tan needs to just spin that ball up. She shouldn't be driving that first ball unless it's clearly a sitter. Ball's nice and low, just spin in a controlled fashion. And there, Wang goes for another one of those backhands. Both teams very eager to try to get this point in the 3rd game.
Guan sends it into the net after Aleksandr handled a nice forehand.
And you see Guan really having to move a lot to get her forehand in. A little bit soft there, could go for a little bit more like that powerful shot. That's a nice 1-2 combination by the Wing.
Only Tan puts it away after her partner Dan Liu set it up the point. That's now 5 of the first 6 here in game 3 for Chicago.
And because of the format where they're playing all 3 games, for Chicago, this is a 1-game match. They just want to get on the board. They don't want to be swept. That's the worst thing that can happen in Major League Table Tennis is you give up 3 points to the opposing team.
We're tied 4-all through the first 8 games today.
Now the order switches back to what we saw in game 2
1-5.
for the serve and receive. So look for Revolution to have a little bit of a chance, but wow. Aleksandr went for a backhand attack that flew long. And they are facing a big uphill challenge right now.
Ball ate him up a little bit.
Oh, nice backhand pick there with the long pips that Angela Guan uses to generally defend against the heavy loops. She turned it around and got that backhand right off the bounce.
How much as a player are you paying attention to the equipment that the opponent is using?
100%. Whether you're playing an offensive player or you're playing a defensive player, you'll definitely look at their racket, make sure you see what type of rubber they're using. Ball has so much spin on it from the defensive pair. See how fast it runs back after it hits the net. Chicago is looking very strong here in game 3. can see Emily. She'd like to have that one back.
Yes, she would.
Just trying to step around, trying to put the ball away, but a little bit too low.
She knew it as soon as it hit her paddle.
Yeah. Overplayed it a little bit.
Chicago still up 4. Oh, shorty worked out that time for Tan.
Excellent drop shot there by the youngster, just moving the ball around, realizing you don't have to hit a winner to score the point. But she comes back with a nice forehand smash to get to game point.
Aleksandr and Wang not done yet. A very steep hill to climb. And that is going to do it. The service error gives Liu and Tan game 3. But Princeton still takes 2 out of 3 in doubles. 11-5 in game 3 for Chicago. It's a 5-4 lead for Chicago as we head back into singles.
We have Emily Tan just flying all over the court now after stopping that sweep from occurring to really give her team a mini break here, a little momentum going into the next singles.
The next set of players, please come to court to practice.
Well, Angela Guan and Matthew de Saint-Hilaire take 2 out of 3 in doubles, and we're joined now by Angela Guan. Angela, how did it feel to get 2 out of 3 today after struggling yesterday to get a point?
Yeah, it was my first time playing mixed doubles and even first time playing with another chopper, defensive player, and being able to win 2 sets out of 3 was, yeah, we're really excited and we look forward to even better matches moving forward.
So Angela, as a chopper who hasn't played with this other chopper, are most of your opponent or most of your teammates, do you normally play with a offensive player, or have you had a chance to play with a defender before?
I've never played with another defender, but I've played with Alex Chen before at WTT. I played with Nikhil at NCTTA Nationals. So they're all attacker players, and at university games.
Angela, how did you develop your style as a defensive specialist?
My mom is a chopper, and I also had a coach, Hao Donglong, who was a chopper as well.
And what was their primary message to you heading into this first Major League Table Tennis weekend?
They're super excited, told me to be patient, move my feet, and enjoy the experience. I'm super excited for MLTT launching in the US.
We are as well. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on getting 2 points for your team, and we'll see you back in the Golden Game in a little bit.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Angela
Enjoy the
Guan
match.
joining us here. We're going to enjoy this one. De Saint-Hilaire staying on the table with Liu. These guys played doubles moments ago. Now they're going head-to-head in singles, and it's going to be interesting.
Definitely will be interesting with Dan Liu having a slight advantage because he has now seen what type of underspin de Saint-Hilaire is going to be giving him. I think the difference is the offensive ability of de Saint-Hilaire. At a moment's notice, he can just turn it on. We saw some great backhand attacks. We know he's got a big forehand. Dan Liu's going to have to be very careful not to play too safe and to keep the pressure on.
Barbaro, the MC,
Game 1.
getting the crowd into a frenzy here at the Ocean Center. Adam, the most energetic man in the history of humankind.
1-0.
No one loves the game more than Adam, and we're so thrilled to have him on our team here at Major League Table Tennis.
That was an interesting point. Ends as Liu overcooks the forehand.
And we're going to see that a lot. Dan Liu is going to have to try to bring some power, but also has to read the spin. De Saint-Hilaire is such a strong defender. He'll be mixing it up,
1-2.
changing the depth, changing the amount of spin. And if Dan Liu's not careful, he'll have to deal with some offense. That's a good shot by Liu.
2-2.
Aleksandr played singles yesterday against Daniel Gorak. Went 1 and 2 against the Florida player.
And you see there Dan Liu just looping that ball off the end. It's not that he can't put it on the table, it's just the change of spin. Very difficult to read if it's a heavy chop coming back or a light chop. Each one changes your racket angle.
And Liu had the burden of going against Enzo Angles in singles yesterday. Enzo had his way with him. What a point! Desantillan outlasting Liu on that one.
And you see Desantillan opting for offense on the final shot, going for the big forehand step around. Dan Liu being very patient, really measuring every single shot.
Desantillan wins the battle.
He's just chopping the ball so well, keeping it nice and low. Again, his job is to mix up the spin, never give Dan Liu a chance to really read the amount so he can take a big forehand. Smart play by Liu, getting over to the forehand side. Much easier for Desantillan to change the spin when he's chopping with his backhand. Oh, that's a nice aggressive serve there.
Did you have Desantillan as a favorite in the singles match?
Slight one, just because of how strong his offense is if the player is able to return his chops. Mixes it up really well.
4-7.
Dan Liu, we talked about it yesterday, more of a passion player, likes to just get out there and keep the ball going. Desantillan can throw monkey wrenches at you with that heavy chop, but his forehand and backhand attacks are very lethal.
7-5.
Liu trying to claw his way back here within 2 at 7-5.
7-5.
Yesterday, Liu only scored 14 points across the 3 games, outscored 33-14 against Enzo.
Oh, powerful forehand by Desantillan, but Liu returns it. That's really the key. If a chopper or defensive player makes that first attack, if you can get one more back, often they'll go back into that defensive stance.
Called here, Matthias Habasson, coach for Princeton.
Timeout taken by Princeton. And Matthias Habasson wants to chat with his chopper, Desantillan.
All these teams realize each point's value, and they do not want to give up a game by playing bad tactics or rushing or being impatient.
You are too humble. Can I borrow your hand for 1 second? Can you stand up for just a moment?
A reminder that we're all building towards the Golden Game, and the score heading into the Golden Game matters. 4 singles matches, 3 games to 11, the 1 doubles match we already saw, and then the Golden Game. And the Golden Game is worth 6 points, and the team that's ahead going into the Golden Game begins with an advantage in the Golden Game, and that matters too.
7-6.
I think it's only fair that if you're dominating going into the Golden Game, you should be rewarded, since it is that 6-point swing.
Net. 7-6.
Golden Game was kind of the talk of the day yesterday.
All the players enjoyed it, and clearly in the booth here in that second one, it was a nail biter.
You're table tennis. I know you have people connecting with you nonstop, sharing their thoughts. What was the chatter about the Golden Game?
Oh, they're really excited. They love it. They want to try it at their own home club. Major League bringing in a new innovation to the sport. You can see how heavy, how much underspin. Dan Liu lifted it up as hard as he could. Didn't even get it to net height. Just went into the bottom of the table on this last one. Here comes the loop here. Just right into the bottom of the net.
Almost caught the edge, but not quite. And Liu has gotten back within 2, but Desantillan has 2 serves to try and close out this game.
And there's that powerful forehand when you least expect it. You can't just put the ball over expecting a chop to come back. Desantillan has a wonderful forehand and backhand arsenal.
11-7, game 1 to Revolution.
An 11-7 win for Matthew Desantillan in the opening game of this 3rd singles match. Dan Liu falls to 0-4 in singles on the weekend. Had some tough matchups with Enzo Angles and Matthew Desantillan, but this is an important couple of games ahead for Liu to get his footing in the singles.
Yeah, and with Liu, he's feeling it. He knows, while we've got so much action going on, he knows that he's got to get on the board for his team. He's playing in the 2nd singles, a strong position. He needs to help his team, but Desantillan is really bringing everything back and showing some beautiful offense there. Nice backhand loop. When you're playing a chopper, that's the last thing you want to see is the chopper going on the offense and mixing it up the spin, just doing a great job keeping the ball moving around, changing the spin, and getting the first game.
Here's a question I wanted to ask you off the air, but I'll ask it on the air. Why do you call it underspin instead of backspin?
Mr. Liu?
It can go both ways. There's no real rhyme or reason. Some coaches will go either way. Most people will go top spin on the forehand loops. But the big thing with the choppers, they will actually chop it back with a nose spin, kind of like a knuckleball. And if you lift it, where's it going to go? Flying off the end. And if you cover it, where does it go? In the net. So it's those nose spin balls that can be the trickiest to deal with. But right now, Dan Liu needs to keep the offense going and read the spin. Like a net ball back. Nice forehand. Got to be careful there. That's just loaded. So heavy.
Obviously, it's really easy to dial in on the individual matchups and the chess match and the back and forth, but from a team standpoint, this is a fascinating showdown. 5-5 through 10 games. 5 more games to play before the Golden Game.
Dan Liu would like nothing more than to figure out a way of getting 2 points out of this since he hasn't gotten on the board yet.
And again, these are the 2 teams that, as teams, lost yesterday. Both want to avoid falling to 0-2.
And then possibly on Sunday going 0-3 if they can't right the ship right now. Desantillan is really showing the class of the defensive game here, mixing it up.
Do you have a thought after watching Carolina and Florida yesterday as to which of those teams you would make the favorite tonight overall? Or we haven't seen the matchups yet, so it's a tough question.
Yeah, the gold rush where they just came out so fast, and with the #1 player in the draft with Enzo. Until somebody beats them, I think I'd got to give them the slight upper hand.
Carolina beat Chicago 16-5 yesterday. Chicago now 5-5 with Princeton.
Oh, that was a great and slightly risky play by Desantillan, playing the forehand. Dan Liu had a slight chance to put it on the table if he could have landed it.
Princeton yesterday was very, very close. They were, tied 7-all, lost 8-7 in the 15 games before the Golden.
Oh, great double attack there by Desantillan. play by Dan Liu.
3.
Off of a deep serve, he got the first loop in. Right now, Desantillon is going for a lot of counterattacks instead of just chopping it back.
Some nifty paddle placement there from Desantillon, a little deceptive.
And he'll keep flipping his paddle. We call it, can't even think of the name right now.
Twiddling?
Twiddling, thank you very much.
We know who the table tennis expert of this broadcast crew is. His name is Sean O'Neill, everybody.
As you watch these plays, especially in slow motion, you will see Desantillon, after every shot, decide which side of his racket he wants to play with. And then he'll just quickly twiddle over, play it, and then get ready, because he wants to use the long pips to add a lot of spin in the inverted, and he adds a little bit more speed and goes on the offense.
Desantillon serving up 1.
Very aggressive deep serve. He got the ball that he wanted, but just didn't have the timing down. And
overheated the attack. We're tied 6-all here in game 2.
Nice backhand serve. Got the ball he was looking for, but all or nothing. Couldn't land it on the table.
Do you like the decision to be that aggressive?
It's very difficult if you're playing against a chopper and they're just sporadically throwing in that offense. You really expect them to play defense and leave the table. And that was a great play there by Dan Liu, getting the wide angle to the backhand.
Dan Liu looking for his first point of his MLTT career.
And that ball clips the top of the net, goes long.
Seven all. Remarkable rally.
Just a classic looper chopper, then turning into a counter looping rally with both players. Desantillon staying with the offense and pulling in a backhand that just backs Dan Liu off the table.
A little woozy after the long back and forth. And Liu gets it back even at 8.
Just an excellent inside-out forehand from the backhand side by Dan Liu. Staying extremely patient, looking for the shots to go for winners on. But Desantillon has been bringing everything back.
I just got a feeling, Sean, that the winner of this game is also going to win game 3. And that this match is about to be decided right here.
I would agree with you 100% with shots like that by Desantillon, just going for broke on the offensive side of the racket.
Let's play.
No hesitation. Not much Dan Liu can prepare for.
Remarkable rally again. Great defense from Desantillon for one shot after another, but Liu does enough to tie it up 9 apiece.
So patient, just really measuring every one of those attacks. Coach Eric Owens has got to be happy with Dan Liu's height and persistence, just wanting to get on the board.
What a massive point that was from Matthew Desantillon.
And coming in with a backhand loop from the backcourt.
ones can barely watch. And Aleksandr delivers another heart-stopping victory in singles, 11-9.
I mean, he juiced up this last chop, just cut underneath the ball. Dan Liu going for everything he can with a nice forehand spin. But Aleksandr is really loading it up. You can just see him cut underneath the ball. That ball is spinning so heavy, even though it's high, so difficult for Dan Liu to drive that ball.
Can you explain why Aleksandr at times seems to choose to let the ball sink below the table before he chops it back as opposed to playing it earlier?
Yeah, it's really due to Dan Liu's heavy spin with that arc on the ball. It pulls it down, and he's got to adjust his footwork. And if it's a ball that he can get close to, he'll do a nice, easy chop. But Dan Liu's putting so much spin, he's got to often run in to catch them. He'd like to be a little bit further away from the ball. But he is changing that spin left and right, and boy, his offense has been on point.
Dan Liu, as close as he's been to a victory, but unable to pull that one out, and now just trying to salvage a single point in this 3-game match. Aleksandr, after going 1 and 2 yesterday, is guaranteed to win the singles match.
And he took his 2 points in the doubles.
That's right.
So we're in the sweep zone right now. Aleksandr having an issue on the first point of this game 3. Oh, and he gets a back edge, the complete corner. Luck on his side, able to bring one back, and then just keeps it in play. Bar corner. Dan Liu unable to touch the ball. Once again, going out wide to the forehand, looking for that same wide angle.
Just keeping Liu off balance.
They're just moving it around. Dan Liu feels he has to keep attacking the ball, but the amount of spin that Aleksandr is bringing back is knocking his offense out.
Aleksandr not wanting to waste time chopping that point.
Not at all. He just kept the offense flowing. Big forehand, took another forehand, then threw the backhand at him. Almost did the kitchen sink there with a couple more forehands.
It's like when a knuckleballer comes out throwing nothing but fastballs.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Just you're expecting a chop after you block back one of those big forehands, and the barrage keeps coming. Dan Liu's thinking to himself, what do I have to do to get the ball by this guy?
What would you suggest?
Boy, I'm really not sure at this stage, because he's played a lot of his attacks to the wide backhand. Maybe move it over more to the middle, cause that jamming point. But you don't want to go to the forehand, because Aleksandr will return it with a forehand loop. There's the chop that you would expect. Oh, what a shot here.
But into the net, wild point, Liu wins it.
Aleksandr can't believe that it came back. He thought he had won the point.
Largest ovation of the day.
Thought he had a winner. He said, what's going on here? And then went for another one that he couldn't connect with, and there goes the racket.
That's going to be a meme, Sean. That's going to be a meme.
Oh, and that's a much stronger play there by Dan Liu, getting his legs under him to really drive the ball.
Which side?
You cannot celebrate until you're sure the point is over.
Something about a fat lady singing. Wow. Dan Liu stuck with the rally and got that big backhand back.
More offense from Matthew.
Dan Liu needs to stay away from the forehand side. Just too big of an angle for Desantillan to come in and land his counterattack. Much better angle there. Inside out, come to the wide backhand. Even if that ball comes back, it's going to come back into the backhand corner where when Dan Liu goes to the forehand, he can't cover the wide return.
Interesting spot there. Liu's up two with the two serves, thinking maybe he can create some separation, but he
A little impatient, just going for too much too early. Work the point, but credit Desantillan for bringing so many strong balls back. There's a net dribbler.
5-7.
take it. He's thinking he deserves that break after what
That's
he's been through.
a quick little sorry with the hand gesture, but inside you're saying I'd like to have a
Half-hearted.
couple more. Just catches the top of the net.
I was going to ask you before if you
5-7.
thought you should perhaps try and mix in a dropper every now and then, especially when Desantillan's 10, 12 feet behind the back of the table.
Yeah, it's a very good tactic. He just has to watch out for the deep chop off of those where it force him out of the offensive position. But right now, Dan Liu's doing everything to try to get that point on the board.
8-6.
Team pressure is immense here. You do not want to be the player that hasn't won a point for your team after two challenges. That's a beautiful forehand again. Wide to the backhand, off the diagonal.
To a 2-point game, 9-7. In all four matches so far tonight, we've seen someone jump ahead by winning the first two games.
Net.
To let.
7-9.
In the last two matches, the second singles and the doubles, we saw the team that started 0-2 did salvage game 3.
Excellent serve there. Couldn't take advantage of the weaker return. And Dan Liu is in striking range. And for the deep serve out to the forehand. Tried to take it down line and caught the net.
11-7. Game 3.
Dan Liu in the win column as he takes the final game against Matthew Desantillan, 11-7. It's his first win here in Major League Table Tennis. And it does tie the team score up 6-6 heading into this final singles match, which will feature Aleksandr making his MLTT debut, and the undrafted free agent Sonora Silva. That's coming up next, but how about Matthew Desantillan?
Just really a nice display of offense, defense, moving the ball around, changing the spin, just really able to show how diverse table tennis is from an offensive and defensive stance.
And we now welcome in Matthew Desantillan. Congrats on taking 2 out of 3. What was it like battling Dan and your guys' contrast of styles going back and forth?
Yes. I'm very happy with the win. Last set I make too much mistake, but 2 points is good for the team.
How do you decide whether to play your defense or to be more aggressive and go for your offense?
At the beginning I played defense, he makes some mistake, and after he start to be patient and to go slowly, so I decide to take more the attack to make some surprise and let him to make some risk.
And Matthew, how much fun was it for you to play with Angela Guan, another defensive player, in the doubles?
It was fun because I don't play often double with defense, so it's very fun to find the line and play the same game. No, it's cool.
One more singles match to come before the Golden Game. What was the Golden Game like for you yesterday, and how does the team come together for that moment to culminate the match?
Yes, yesterday we lead the Golden Game and bad finish, so today we're ready to make a better finish, and we hope we are going to win this Golden Game.
All right, Matthew, great stuff. Good luck going forward. Thank you. Matthew de Santillan went 1-2 in singles yesterday, 2-1 today after going 2-1 in doubles playing with Angela. So that's now 2 out of 3 games in each of the last 3 matches for the Revolution after Chicago's Sasha Khanin began the day with a 3-0 sweep in first singles. So we're tied 6-all. And this is anybody's game, anybody's match. Final singles match between Chicago and Princeton this weekend. It's Kazaku and Silva. Kazaku to serve.
1-0.
Alex Kazaku played in the MLTT showcase on ESPN's Ocho Day. It was back in August, but it was not active yesterday, so this is his regular season debut for the Wind.
He brings a ton of power behind the ball. Of course, we saw Silva yesterday, and he's quick off the bounce. He was so thrilled to get picked up out of the reserve pool. He just couldn't contain himself, even though he had a tight match against Michelle Levinsky. Oh, great play there by Silva. Staying with the point and being a wide angle for him.
This kid, just 18 years old from Sri Lanka, although he's now going to college in Texas at Texas Wesleyan. Started his freshman year.
Just a super attitude.
Blocking with your hand.
So again, players getting the warning. Toss the ball 6 inches, make sure it's in the palm of your hand. Don't let it roll out. Oh, powerful shot by Kazaku, but Silva able to take it back down the line and catch the edge.
Kazaku.
He is ready for action. You see him dancing after this point, but that forehand is huge. Just no problem, just takes it cross court.
Tremendous battle. Kazaku wins it to go back up by 1.
And you can hear the ball just explode off of his racket. Great footwork, stays on the offense, forcing Silva back to the backcourt.
These 2 players pummeling away, back and forth, 4-all. Kazaku was playing table tennis literally before Sonora Silva was born. Kazaku, 34, has been playing since he was 10.
And that's just, I mean, he's bringing the heat. I mean, Kazaku just serving, taking a half a step to the backhand side and delivering a 4 inches rip.
Silva doing all he can defensively, but Kazaku just overpowering him with both velocity and his angle.
And just sending so much positive energy into the Chicago Wind as each team member is standing up. Wondering if it's making Coach Owens worry about why wasn't he playing in yesterday's match, because he is bringing the offense to his team.
Next. 4-7.
Great play by Silva there.
7-5.
Mixing it up with a little bit of a side spin, topspin serve, looking to get a topspin return and then just punching it with his backhand. down the line. I just love Silva's attitude. It's just
He's unflappable.
good body language. He's running to the towel to get ready for the next point. Unlucky break there by Kazaku. That does not happen often where a player will miss their own serve.
Silva can take advantage. Wins both points on Kazaku's serve.
That's big for Silva. Just holding his position at the table, not giving an inch. And then a service advantage right there. Nice underspin serve to get the lead.
Kazaku defending as best he could, but Silva in position to steal game one.
What a rally. Kazaku figuring out a way of getting his forehand in, but Silva keeps the pressure on. You can see it in his face afterwards. He is pumped to try to get game one.
Oh, incredible hands! Sonora Silva making a statement in his MLTT debut.
I mean, coming out of the reserve pool and being able to pull this shot off, followed through behind his head because he was just happy to put his paddle on it.
Unbelievable from the Sri Lankan superstar, Sonora Silva. This guy's gonna have a full-time roster spot before long. Just continues to dazzle, and he beats Kazaku 11-7.
Just a barrage, a combination of forehand attacks, one after another, keeping the power, keeping the pressure. And this is after Kazaku has just been throwing bombs for the first half of the game. Amazing.
The service error from Kazaku changed the whole flow of that match, the whole flow of the game.
It just gave Silva that one more point that he needed, and he's been staying up at the table in the line of fire, but wow, the amazing ability to keep his paddle on the ball. Kazaku has been just landing haymakers. And Silva just no problem, just keeping it going and just ready for the next point. High fives with everyone on Team Revolution.
We'll have a picture with everyone here.
See the concern on the Chicago Wind is everyone's giving a little bit of advice. Kazaku played perfect for 75% of that first game. Then Silva.
Silva put some unbelievable shots out late in that game.
I mean, just combinations that
All right, make some noise. Game number 2.
Kazaku has seen before. And if anyone deserves a full-time role,
Game 2.
that performance right there should be his calling card.
He told me he wants to play as much as he can. He's going to have a heck of a jersey collection because he's going to be a free agent after this one-week deal with the Revolution. If they lock him up to a long-term.
Yeah, if I'm a coach, I'm making a phone call and asking, is there a way that I can get you his schedule should allow him, being a student at Texas Wesleyan, a perennial national collegiate powerhouse, winning the majority of the team titles themselves in a co-ed format.
Wow. Oh, it caught the edge! You got to be kidding me.
2-1.
I mean, Silva did everything possible to set that point up perfectly.
2-1.
Nice big forehand hooking smash. That ball comes in. It went straight down. So it looks like they might be giving it to Silva.
Let's play.
The ball goes over the table surface before clipping the net. It's definitely legal, but coming from the same side. Oh, there's the Kazaku power that we saw at the first half of the game.
I need you to explain that to me again.
So let's say the ball crosses the midline going over the table. It has to hit the top edge. It's coming from the same side of the table and comes in a straight line, often it'll brush the side of the table and not hit the edge and bounce upward.
2-3.
Kazuku's power is still there. He just has to find the opening. And you can see the smile on Silva's face. He's so happy to be out here. The ball's driven by him for a winner, and he's still happy. Excellent play by Kazuku again.
5-2.
Start strong. Really great finishing forehand, but Silva has been able to stay toe-to-toe.
3-5.
Back to a 2-point game. 5-3. Silva with a couple serves here. Kazaku, good return.
Very smart, mixing it up. Sometimes a short return on the serve, sometimes a deep push to really keep your opponent at bay, not stepping in.
7-3.
Kazaku won both those points on Silva's serve. There was an opportunity to really take a stranglehold on the second game.
Those are better than mini breaks. To take both points, and then you get the serve. Generally, you should be winning about 60–65% on your serve. You can break the opponent and take two. Really sets up for a chance to change a streaky game onto your side.
Ball. 8-4. Blocking. With your shoulder and as you throw.
So it looked like they called a fault because as Kazuku tossed the ball up, he was hiding it with his body. The ball has to be plainly visible to your opponent throughout your toss. If you turn a little bit and you have your body shielding the ball, they can call a fault on you. It used to be allowed, but they changed the rule a number of years ago to make it easier to return serve. And you can see Kazuku, he really, every single point, super focused. Really strong backhand play there by Kazuku.
Silva fights off 1 game point.
That was a heck of a backhand loop over the table on a tricky serve.
And Kazaku takes game 2. So Kazaku and Silva split their first couple. We're tied 7-all heading into the final game before the golden game.
Both these players are playing amazing. Kazuku, I just love his power on both the forehand and backhand side. Then you've got Silva, who doesn't give an inch, going for big counterattacks himself.
Kazaku certainly feels he should have won game 1 as well. I mean, he had the early lead and then the error, and Silva hit some unbelievable winners.
Yeah, there's so much streakiness that we're seeing here in Major League Table Tennis, where one player who should have won the first wins the second, and then we've got to go into this pivotal third game to see who'll get that 1-point advantage.
Game point. Silva return sailing long. So this is for an 8-7 lead.
Game
For a
3.
1-0 lead in the golden game.
0-0.
It's also something that these two players will remember individually.
1-0.
Kazaku gets the 1-0 lead in game 3.
Just so solid. Offense off of both sides by Kazaku. Gets that first serve to come back and then jumps on top of it. But Silva fights back with his own offense.
Oh, Silva exploding with a forehand.
Even though he's not so tall, he got in so quickly on that short ball to the forehand and just slammed it away.
This kid continues to astound.
I mean, just taking this ball down the line, nice spinny loop, no hesitation.
It's like he sees the ball in slow motion coming to him and then just erupts.
His footwork is phenomenal. He gets over to the ball, lightning quick. Now up 4-2 with the serve.
When you see an 18-year-old with this type of ability, what do you think about in terms of the ceiling for him as a player, and what are the things as you look that he can do better? As we get a timeout call, Kazaku and Chicago take it after Silva has created a 3-point lead here.
Well, I think coming to the U.S. and playing in collegiate table tennis is definitely his right move. He's going to continue to play against the best players, much stronger than his home country. But right now, he wants to get onto a team. Coming from this reserve pool, he has really shown his ability to play with the big boys, and some of these shots are just amazing. Coach Owens trying to give Kazaku some encouragement to right the ship and get the 1-point lead going into the golden game.
T.S. Havasan.
He's got to be feeling good here in game 3.
Well, his team got 7 points yesterday in the match against Florida. Lost the golden game. Silva one step closer to giving Princeton a 1-point lead and the advantage heading into the finale. Unbelievable.
What
Just
hands.
unbelievable.
I mean, he takes that big loop, blocks it so softly and nicely down the line like it's no big deal. Yeah, that's a little bit asking too much to make another one like that, but Kazaku, big forehand bombs.
4-point cushion and 2 serves here for Silva.
I mean, you can just hear the cracking sound of Kazaku's forehand.
It felt like he hit 3 winners on that point.
And somehow Silva, even from the back court, keeps it on the table. Now they're making sure they use all their timeouts, so Revolution is calling a timeout right now for Silva. Very offensive-minded with the lead. Probably give some advice on what to do on the serve and serve call for the next couple points.
It was 5-2 when the last timeout was called. So only 4 points played before this next one. Havasan trying to nip any Kazaku comeback in the bud.
Exactly. And at the same time, Chicago Wind would like to add a little bit more support to their big hitting Kazaku, who's been sending bombs at Silva.
Who's going to take the lead heading into the golden game? Kazaku now within 2 with 2 serves coming his way.
He took that so fast off the bounce on the backhand side. Nice little flip, and then boom. So quick, Silva couldn't even run it down.
Net.
To let.
5-7.
That's a little bit too high on the return there. Kazaku, when he's got both lanes open, he's going to find the open court.
Both teams are out of timeouts until we get to the golden game. 3 in a row for Kazaku. Make it 4 straight. 7-7 in the game and the match. And that's 5 consecutive points now for Aleksandr in Chicago.
And you can see the intensity, how much this means to the players. The leading team will only have a 1-point advantage, but Kazaku wants to go into this golden game with some momentum.
Silva with the equalizer, it's 8-all. Snaps the 5-zip string. This is awesome. Kazaku wins the battle.
First frustration I've seen on Silva's face. He lined it up to play that backhand down the line that he's been so successful with. Just caught the top of the net and went long.
Nine to 9.
Both players just bringing their A game. A lot of counterattacks. Silva getting the upper hand to get to 9-all.
I'll tell you, Sean, this is one of the reasons I'd like to see win by 2, because I don't want this game to end.
Yeah, these guys are playing so amazing.
Oh,
look at that.
Kazaku!
Inside out forehand from the backhand court. Silva had the forehand covered. Kazaku at the last second just took it inside out. Spun Silva halfway around. Match point.
Insanity! Aleksandr delivers a memorable moment for the Chicago win.
What a wall. Kazaku goes back into the lob defense and keeps bringing them all back until he has a chance to turn the offensive weaponry on.
He was down 7-3, Sean, and then closed on an 8-2 run to take 2 out of 3 from the talented Sri Lankan Sanura Silva.
And here we see that counterattack. He brings it back in and pulls a backhand. Look at the just amazing attacks from the backcourt to get the victory and the celebration of Chicago win to go into this golden game with a lead.
Aleksandr breathing hard as he puts the headset on. What was that like, coming from 7-3 down to pull that out? What did that mean to you?
Very important for the team, because I always never give up, and I was thinking that I can win. I can still win.
How did you win that last point? I mean, it seemed to last forever.
Yeah, this is not a regular point, but it happens.
Kazaku, when you're playing somebody like Silva who's blocking so well, how do you find the hole or the weakness in his game? It seems like every ball just kept coming back off his racket.
Yes, I must find it weak spots, because he's blocking very good from in forehand and backhand, so I try to play to his middle sometimes.
What did you learn watching yesterday as an inactive player that helped you when you took the table tonight?
Well, I did this before also, and I learned that every point is important, and everything can happen here.
What's the vibe heading into this golden game here with everything on the line?
I think everybody's nervous.
You don't look nervous, Alex. Best of luck. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on a great win.
Thank you.
There you see Eric Owens, Matthias, excuse me, and Flint Lane figuring out the order for the upcoming golden game. This has been a tremendous match. I mean, Sasha Khanin got Chicago off to a 3-0 start, and then 3 consecutive match wins for Princeton. Prishepa took 2 out of 3 from Provost. DeSantillan and Guan took 2 out of 3 in doubles, and then DeSantillan got 2 out of 3 in singles. Kazaku with a crazy comeback. 7-3 down in that third and final game to take 2 out of 3 and give Chicago the 1-point lead, both on the overall scoreboard and on the start of the Golden game.
Not really.
We've reached the moment where everyone has been waiting for, and the Golden Game is a new innovation for Major League Table Tennis, the grand finale. All 5 players compete, substituting every 4 points, and the advantage, even just that 1 point, could end up being the difference. It's not win by 2, we're going straight to 21.
It's going to be a lot of what we just saw, which was nail-biting 2-1 games. We only saw 1 sweep, and that was in the initial one. But boy, these style matchups have been amazing. The energy from Silva and Kazaku, I don't know how you can match that, but again, we saw Dan Liu against DeSantillan just pull out all the stops and go for everything possible. So I can't wait to see how these orders and lineups come forward right now with only an 8-7 lead.
The names are going to populate here. Yesterday in our 2 team-wide matches, in one of the Golden Games, we saw repeats of all the matchups from regulation, and the other, it mixed it up. I think it's interesting when you see new matchups they haven't seen before, but also to get the revenge opportunities.
Exactly, the revenge of coming back, and maybe if a player won the first 2 and dropped the third, to try to get a little bit more out of that opponent.
This is a new matchup. Kazaku is going to stay on the table for Chicago, and Matthew DeSantillan is going to start for Princeton. Order for Chicago. We'll get you the full order for Princeton in a moment, but we know DeSantillan will start trailing by 1. He serves first. Immediately ties it up.
And the chopper goes on the offense. He realizes that Kazaku has the firepower to go through him, so he's not going to give him a free swing.
2-1.
So Kazaku gets that one. It's a 2-1 lead now for Chicago. 1 more point for these 2 players, and then we'll swap out. And it's 2-all.
And very smart by DeSantillan to opt for the offense and not give Kazaku a chance to tee off.
Here comes Sasha Khanin, who went 3-0 over Jinxin Wang, and Yevgen Prishepa, who went 2 out of 3, taking 2 wins from Damian Provost.
Both these players play so similar. They both like to get their forehands in, but good table games.
Owen has gained an iota of separation so far in this Golden game.
Very strong backhand flip by Prishepa. Trying to start the offense on his racket, even though he's not serving.
So the players split those 4 points. We're tied 4-all.
Very nice play by Khanin to get his forehand going.
Juan versus Liu. Liu with a strong forehand winner.
So patient by Liu. He's not taking anything for granted playing Angela Guan. Plays a defensive style, just wants to keep the ball in play, and there's a change of spin there.
5.
Whoever wins this golden game will win the match, get an extra 6 points. Now they'd be 14-7 or 13-8. Oh my!
Angela knocked the paddle out of his hand as he went for the net ball. An excellent play by Angela Guan.
She splits the 4 points with Liu.
6-6.
She did that yesterday, splitting with Matilda Ekholm.
Jinxin Wang versus Damian Provost. Oh, Provost with a flick of the wrist.
Covered the wide backhand, found the open court.
Neither side has led by multiple points at any point yet so far in this golden game. To 21.
8-7.
Both these players have such great positional offense. They really take their time. They don't knock themselves out of position when they go for the big shot.
Provost takes 3 out of 4 from Jinxin Wang, and Chicago leads 9-7.
Oh,
here comes Silva and Tan.
This matchup, pure energy on both sides.
And 2 teenagers. Tan 17, Silva's 18.
And Silva goes with the quick side topspin serve, keeping the pressure on.
2 straight for Silva, and we're even at 9 apiece.
Emily will have the serve. See if she can get her offense going.
Oh, just clipped the net and sailed long. That's 3 straight for Silva, and Princeton's in front.
Silva trying to sweep in this golden game.
Incredible rally, and Tan wins it. But Silva does take 3 out of 4 to even things up 10 apiece.
And Tan just continues to smash with all of her might into the backhand court. Silva did everything he could, but still taking 3 out of 4. And now we have the big guns again.
Santilan serving to Kazaku. Kazaku! It's a fun name to exclaim on a winner.
Once again, Kazaku went for a drop shot fake and then kept smashing. Santilan going on the defense, staying there, trying to defend these big forehand kills.
Kazaku has won 3 in a row, despite Santilan's astonishing defense.
Such a contrast in styles, with Kazaku just bringing everything with that power.
And that's 4 in a row for Alex Kazaku, single-handedly transforming Chicago's chances late here in this match.
Just continuing to go with power there on the forehand smashes against the lob. Chicago beginning to create a little separation here.
Khanin versus Prishepa.
15.
Separation grows, 5 consecutive points.
And 6 points at stake for the team.
Sixteen 10.
16-10 now. Surprised Princeton didn't use the timeout there.
Yeah, they definitely have that ability here in the Golden game to
16-11.
slow down any momentum.
Kazaku and Khanin take 7 of 8 against their respective opponents. And what was 10-10 moments ago now has Chicago in a great position. The pressure's on Angela Guan, serving to Dan Liu.
And she goes long on that attack. Chicago is within striking range in this matchup.
It's 9 of the last 10 points for the Wind. It really feels like Aleksandr changed the momentum of the entire match.
The energy that he brought to his singles and even the cold game, just now Dan Liu doing.
And that'll do it. Dan Liu finishes it off as Chicago wins the Golden Game 21-11. And the Wind have their first victory in Major League Table Tennis.
Dan Liu getting it done against Angela Guan. But Kazaku with great play in that final singles match.
So Chicago, after losing 16-5 yesterday, they bounce back and win today 14-7 over the Princeton Revolution. And it looked like Sonora Silva was going to put his team in position to win, and he really did until Kazaku's energy just completely shifted the spirit of this match.
Just a great play by Kazaku, moving the ball around. Just again, the amount of power and placement that he brought to the table and energy for the win. And then Dan Liu, super patience against defensive Angela Guan, just getting it done, taking all 4 points to give Chicago the big win.
So Chicago gets its first MLTT victory, and you can see what it means. Let's chat with Eric Owens, the coach of the Wind. Eric, congratulations. This one was intense from start to finish. What, if anything, did you say to the team heading into the Golden Game?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had our order down. We definitely switched things up from the actual match. So we had some matchups that we learned through the entire team match. So we adjusted things, and I think our strategy paid off. We absolutely nailed it in the Golden Game order, and I think that's why we won.
And Eric, with Aleksandr Kazaku, how much energy did he bring to the team with his play?
Oh, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think the entire team, I think that's the beauty of our team is we bring so much passion, so much energy. I can really tell everyone wants to win. We're cheering each other on, both on and off the court. So this is a great team to work with, and it really showed tonight.
You've now been through 2 matches as an MLTT head coach. Can you describe the emotions sitting and watching and having to sit on the loss after last night and coming back today?
Yeah, the loss was tough last night. It was, the inaugural game, and so we wanted to show our best face. We wanted to win the very first match for MLTT. We didn't do that. We felt it, but we had a great team meeting last night, another team meeting this morning. We regrouped, and we came back stronger and better today.
What are you most proud about as you head toward the finale tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think the team atmosphere is great. I love the energy. I think we are gelling even better than we were yesterday. So the more we play, the more we learn how each other needs to be encouraged. So I just love the team atmosphere. I think we'll be ready for tomorrow.
Look forward to seeing the Wind and the Crocs tomorrow night. Enjoy the Crocs in the in the Gold Rush, and we'll see you tomorrow, Coach.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Eric Owens, the leader of the Chicago Wind. 8 players from 6 different countries. And this crew came together after a slow start on Friday night. They rally and deliver the goods here on Saturday. They win it 14-7, taking the Golden Game 21-11. It was 10-10, Sean, and then an 11-1 run, spearheaded by that guy, Aleksandr, the Romanian sensation, to help them close it out.
And really, as Coach Owen said, a total team effort from Dan Liu to Provost to Khanin, just everyone pulling their weight and getting the job done.
Kazaku and Silva offered so many memorable back and forth moments. I hope we see Sonora Silva on a roster going forward in this league. Not to say it's hard to know who he takes off a roster because there's only 8 spots available per team. But he certainly has shown himself to be worthy. Dan Liu had a tough start, but he had the game winner for the Wind in the waning moments tonight. Sasha Khanin got Chicago off to the 3-0 start. Kazaku got them the advantage in the Golden Game, and Liu closed it out. We got Florida and Carolina coming up in about 10 minutes. But for now, for Sean O'Neill and our entire crew, Evan Lepler saying so long, and congrats to Chicago as they get their first ever win in the MLTT.